get drunk and get loud.
All my rowdy friends have settled down.
Yeah, me and my rowdy friends done rowdied on down. Our noon commodity report is weekdays at 12:50.
Welcome to the Beartooth Mountains. That's where I'm going to right now. And yeah, you know, it's something about going outside, you know, after working 13 hours a day, living in downtown of a city that's not all that impressive, is that it wakes you up in a way. You know, it's like, oh, so this is life. Right? This is what living is, you know. But anyways, it's a good excursion on a Monday when I'm finally not working. I need a haircut. But yeah, it is. What day is it? It's June 8th, or is it June 9? I don't know. June 9, 2026. One second, let me check the date here. Oh, June 8th. It's June 8th, 2026. And I'm almost done with intern. So I made the drive back up here to Montana. Not back up, but up here to Montana a year ago to start residency, and now I'm almost done with a whole year. So yeah, you know, I haven't made a video talking about it in a while because, you know, it's there's not much to talk about. It's still pretty stressful, but I might talk about it a little bit more as I head back to the mountains. And something else that's been on my mind is that it's been a year since my my thyroidectomy, and so I think I should update people on that too. But yeah, let's enjoy the mountains together. Quite the busy town. This is Red Lodge, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of the last taste of civilization before we hit the mountains. So, what a charming little town. So people come to Red Lodge, you know, for a lot of reasons. This is basically like, it's the outpost before, you know, people go out to ski in the mountains, or you know, mountain biking or whatever. So a lot of cool restaurants down here. A lot of just nice little places to hang out. So yeah. I always enjoy driving through this area. I will say one thing though, you know, I hope one day, you know, my parents and, you know, my brother can go up here too. We can, you know, enjoy together. I think they would like it too. But yeah, enjoy the views here in Red Lodge. This radio's getting more staticky, but we can try to listen to it. water on the left over there. It's kind of what I enjoy most about these mountains. The flow is just beautiful.
When you needed me, I'd run and hide. Oh, but now I'm standing by your side. Don't count the rainy days. They blow hard and they're long. Don't throw our love away in this. I walk the line. Because you're mine, I walk the line.
But I know I'll think of you each step of the way. And I will
Welcome to the Beartooth Highway. So we're officially in the mountains, and you know, it's hard to put into words, you know, how beautiful it is, you know, out here. I can just show you guys, but even that doesn't do it justice. And you know, that's something I've come to appreciate the last couple of years of my life. You know, it's just this healing power of nature, right? It's like, I'll talk about it a bit later, maybe. But man, residency has been stressful. Bet you haven't heard that one before. But wow, I mean, something about the majesty of all this just makes you reflect on, you know, God and nature and how lucky you are to be alive, and everything about your job just seems so distant. What I mean by that is it gives you perspective, you know. End of the day, does it really matter what some attending said to you on an eval? I mean, yes, because you're going to have to talk about it with your advisor, and it's going to have impact on your career and all that stuff. But when you're out here, you don't think about it, you know. So how about this view up in the mountains? So the reason I came out to the Beartooth Mountains this time, because the last time I was up here, I just kind of drove the main road and explored the, you know, the highway, which if I have time today, I'll do as well, because it really is one of the best drives in the country. But I also wanted to do a little hike. And so there's a lake a little ways that way called Greeno Lake. I think it's about a quarter mile. So I'll try to check that out. But something I wanted to talk about, something I wanted to show you guys is the mountains here. They really are incredible. And you know, before I graduate residency, something I want to do is just walk all the way up one of these mountains, all the way to the top, because I think that would be really cool. Because you can see there is pretty good trails all the way up to the top. So who knows, maybe if I have some time this summer I'll do it. Have to admit I'm not the most active guy. I do walk like 10,000 steps a day in the hospital, if that counts, but you know, going uphill for however long that takes, I don't imagine it'll be easy, but I do think it'll be spectacular. So maybe one day. Well, let's build up our stamina for that. So anyways, as I start walking back down to the main trail and towards the lake, I'll just talk about my update on the thyroid cancer, and I'll make a separate video on it later. But I had the procedure like last year, and you can see like there's almost no scar now. So, and the reason I feel the need to, you know, talk about it, you know, online is because when I was, you know, diagnosed with thyroid cancer like a year ago, it was probably, you know, one of the most, I don't know, scary is a good word to say it, but there was a lot of uncertainty. You know, what's next? You know, what does this mean? And something that really helped me at that time was watching YouTube videos of other people who struggled with the same thing. And anyways, just like a lot of those other videos, I will say, end of the day, you know, it's there's no good cancer, but this is a good cancer to get if you're gonna get one. I mean, they took the thyroid out, and then I had my you know, checkup about a year later. I had my ultrasound done. They checked my thyroglobulin levels, which measures any remaining thyroid protein being made by the cancerous gland. The ultrasound was unremarkable. The thyroglobulin levels were 0. So all I have to do is take that pill once a day, you know. And you know, I'm not happy about it. You know, I hate being dependent on a medication, but I did have to go up on my dose as well, because I gained some weight during residency, eating all the Panda Express. But it could be a lot worse. So that's all I got to say about the thyroid cancer. But anyways, I'm gonna try and run this trail. It's only a quarter mile to Greeno Lake. See you guys at the lake. How about this, guys? Greeno Lake. Kind of an underwhelming trail, to be honest. It's only like a quarter mile, but what a peaceful area. It's like straight out of Legend of Zelda. I'm tempted to run up that mountain there, man. It seems so tempting, you know. But I don't know. We'll see. You know, there's a certain serenity that comes with a place like this, which is, it's hard to describe. But this is how human beings are supposed to live, right? That's ultimately what comes to mind. I mean, we should be living next to places like this, not giant cities with concrete for miles and driving cars everywhere. This is life, man. But I will say something else about it. Just hiking places like this as a single guy, it reminds me of my childhood. You know, sometimes I wish I was a kid again, and sometimes I wish I could make my own family. And God willing, I'll find my wife someday and have kids and come out to places like this. But until then, it's a place for solitude and reflection, and a good break from residency. But that's the issue with residency, you know. You spend 6 days a week, 13 hours a day at the hospital, and you could be spending time at places like this. You could be spending time meeting new people, doing new things, but instead you spend all your time at the hospital, and life just kind of passes by. So I don't know if there's a good solution for that. I don't think there is, but I'll work on it. You know, I don't want life to just pass by. So this is how it starts, you know, using my time off to come to places like this. The thing about, you know, being a doctor is there's always something to do. There's always something to do. There's always, you know, something to study, some project to work on, some research, something, especially in academia. Thank God I left academia. But you have to understand, and what a lot of physicians don't understand, or they don't want you to understand either, is the reason people become doctors, the reason people become anything, is so they can live. And this is life, not whatever is in the hospital. You know, our patients certainly understand that. The second they start feeling more healthy, they start asking, when can I leave? When can I leave? You know? And so, I don't know. That's it's a goal for me. It should be a goal for everybody. You know, to not let the hospital take over your life. So, just incredible, isn't it? It's beautiful. You can see the snow on top of the mountains over there. If I had come here like a month ago, I think there would still be snow. But now everything's melted. And that's why the river is flowing so fast over there. But anyways, I don't think I got enough of a hike out of the quarter mile to this lake. So believe it or not, I'm gonna try and walk up towards the mountain, see how far I get. I won't go the whole way, I don't have time, but let's see how far I get. Going up those mountains seems very tempting, because it doesn't look that hard. You just gotta cross this river, and it looks like it's a pretty clear walk upwards, but I'll be back for it. Not today. It's 4:30. I just tried crossing I took my shoes off and tried walking across, but it's just not worth it. My feet are gonna get wet, you know, and I don't know. I'll have to cross it on the way back too. It's already 4:30, but one day this summer, I'm gonna wake up early. I'm gonna try climbing one of these mountains, man. I think it'll be fun. But what a nice river. This is Rock Creek, in the Red Lodge area. So, anyway, I'm gonna head back to my car, but it's been a nice hike. Found some dung here too. I don't know what it is. Something used the bathroom. I feel like I need somebody to do the hike with, you know. I don't know enough about wildlife and all that. Don't want to get myself killed or lost. But one day, I'll be back one day. So, alright, I'm gonna head back to my car. kime ne diyeyim? Yaz ayında gazel gazel düştü bagıma. Ne söyleyeyim, kime ne diyeyim? So I'm on the Beartooth Highway now, going higher and higher up these mountains. It's kind of cool. I'll show you guys. There's still snow, you know, towards the top of the mountains. It's kind of hard to believe because it's temperature here right now is 64. It was 71 at the bottom, so it's definitely melting. You know, it has to be melting, but there's still some snow. But anyways, you know, I thought, you know, coming up these mountains, I would use that as an opportunity to maybe like decompress, you know, talk about why residency is stressful and stuff. But the fact of the matter is I don't really want to talk about it. I mean, I'll just say a few things and then forget about it, to be honest with you, because that's why we come up here, you know. The thing about nature, man, it's a great equalizer, you know. It's we're all just human beings, you know, in the majesty of these mountains and the forest. You know, it's doesn't matter what job we do or anything. Anyways, the reason I've been stressed out, you know, at work lately is, you know, from a technical perspective, most of the faculty, I think, can agree that I've made a lot of progress, and I also think I've made a lot of progress. Now, I'm not perfect, but also comparing myself to my peers, I would say for the most part, some of my peers are definitely way smarter than me, but I'm at least in the pack, right? And so I think I made a lot of progress. But I don't know. The thing about evaluations, the evaluation system in residency and medical school to an extent too, is that not everybody does the evaluations, right? Most of the cool professors, you know, cool doctors and stuff, attendings, they don't care about evaluations, right? So they just don't fill it out, right? And so, you know, every block, you know, every 3-week words block, I'll work with like, I don't know, you know, 3 or 4 attending physicians. And like one of them will fill it out, and, you know, they'll be really by the book, and they'll write some stuff in there, you know. So like, for example, my last attending wrote, that I seemed like disinterested and disengaged during rounding, which, like, I can understand why she thought that, and I don't have any hard feelings towards her, because when we round and when the other intern is presenting, what I'll do is I'll go to a nearby computer and put in all my orders and start writing my note and stuff, you know, just to get all my work out of the way before I get further admits in the afternoon. And honestly, this is normal and expected for most attendings, but with her, it's not, right? Which nobody told me that. And so, you know, she thought I was being disinterested, you know. But stuff like that, you know, the problem with that is like the program directors read my evals, and, you know, they don't know the details, you know, and I don't necessarily want to go into it with them either, because then it sounds like I'm being overly defensive and I'm just arguing with them. So anyways, you know, I had a meeting with my directors the other day saying, you know, you need to work on your professionalism and all that, so on and so forth. And I was like, fine, you know, it's just, I don't know, you know, there's always something with work. So, but anyways, how about this, man? How about this scenery here? So, but anyways, you know, I'm working on it. I feel like I'm currently on my words block right now, right? I'm 1 day off for my words block, so I feel like I'm doing a good job, and hopefully I get some good feedback this block, and that'll fix everything. Yeah, but you know, it's just stressful. You know, it's stressful knowing that you work as hard as you do, and there's always just something, you know, how do I put it? There's always something, you know, you're always being watched, you're always being ridiculed for one reason or another, right? It's, that's the stressful part of residency. But anyways, you know, I keep studying, I keep doing mixed-up questions and stuff, and hopefully I'll make some progress. But look at this. See that little animal there? Hold on. Let's see if I can show it here. It looks like a rock. It's right there. Hold on. See. Yeah, see? Come on down, buddy. Look, there's still some snow up here. That's cool, isn't it? So anyways, let me see if I can go up there and maybe touch some of the snow. That'll be cool. But yeah, all things, you know, long story short, I'm making a lot of progress, but it's still stressful residency, and I'll make another video, you know, just to kind of summarize the end of my intern year, you know, once I'm done with this final worst block. But yeah, God willing, I'm going to be a senior resident next year in a few months, and then there's just a couple years left in residency. So, all right, let's do some more exploring. Well, if you want to see snow in June, the mountain is the place to be. Hard to believe it's June. Got a bunch of snow still up here. Thinking about coming up here a bit later in the day because I'm lazy and I like to sleep until 12, so no one else is up here. Adds to the peace.
And I heard him tell the warden just before he reached my cell, let my guitar play its friend to my request. Let him sing me back home the song I used to hear. Make my old memories come alive. Take me away and turn back the years. Take me back home before I die.
So this is probably one of my favorite aspects of the Beartooth Mountains. Where do you think we are right now? I mean, what kind of landscape does this look like? Looks like the plains, right? Just complete flatland. But then you look the other way. You can see the amazing mountains. How cool is that? That's pretty awesome. But anyways, it's a lot colder up here, and I should start driving back soon. It's 6 o'clock. I gotta wake up early tomorrow. So, but it's been a good excursion. You know, I think everybody needs this every now and then to just think about things. You know. So, good luck on whatever you guys are doing if you're watching my videos for some reason. And yeah, have a good one. Well, I'm back in Red Lodge, and how about that? All kinds of wildlife out here.